Hey guys, it's Michelle with Four Scenes of Happiness. We're going to go ahead and do a wristlet tutorial. I've had a lot of questions on how I make a wristlet. So I'm just going to, I have 3 different colors. I have the pink, the gray, and the white. And then I grabbed this vintage floral that's in inventory as well. And then my focal piece is going to be this flower. I also have a rose gold lobster claw keychain and a wristlet wire. Everything in here on the tray is in inventory. You can search Four Scenes of Happiness to see all the goodies. So I'm just going to take my wire and I'm going to pinch it with my needle nose right below the bar there. It's just going to help you to stabilize the, and you can see I just move it down to stabilize the wire as I'm squeezing that silicone bead onto the wire. Normally these take 18 to 20 beads, but it depends on the focal size. So every focal size is going to be different, which is going to add or decrease on the number of focals. So you're just going to keep doing this in any pattern. You can put them in any order, any pattern. You can use any colors. This is what we are starting with. I don't know why the lighting is so bright like that, but I apologize if you can't see it completely. So I'm going to go ahead and go opposite. So I'm going to go white, pink, and then gray on the next pattern. And then I'm going to put on my focal bead. And then once you get the wristlet round, you're going to see why we do that. So there's the first part with the focal bead on, with the printed bead in the center of the pattern. So I'm going to continue doing that on this other side. I'm just going to match it. So I'm going to go with the gray, the pink, and then the white. I also make these in bundles where I add a hotel style keychain and a tassel just to jazz it up a little bit. And then I'm going to go with the printed. I grabbed extra beads just in case, so I wasn't running around in the video grabbing extra supplies. So you can see I'm nearing the end of the wire, and I'll show you in just a minute how I get extra beads on there, because I like mine super tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this one has a claw at the end. I'm going to take it and I'm going to grab the end of this wire like this, and I'm just going to push these down. The wire is harder to manage when you do this, but you are able to get extra beads on there. So the next one in my pattern is going to be this dim gray color. And I'm just going to feed it on. And like I said, it is a little bit more challenging because the wire isn't as stable, but you can get it on. And I like doing it this way just because, like I said, I like my beads to be tight on the wire so it's not so flimsy. All right, so now I've completed both of my patterns. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, okay, so I had to think about that for a minute. That's what I'm going to do. So one thing I'm going to do to make more room is I'm going to pull this bead up over the clasp without pulling it completely off, because that's going to give us more room on the wire to add the beads to make sure it's completely tight. So I'm just gently wiggling that up. So that's going to give me a little bit more room. So now I'm going to re-grab and re-push. And then I'm going to go with, I'm thinking, okay, I think I figured it out. I grabbed 2 pink glitter jellies. These are also in inventory. I just want it to be tight, but I also want to stay consistent with the pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a pink jelly, a gray, and a pink jelly, and then it'll be gray again. We just want it to be, and it's going to be opposite of the focal, so it doesn't need to be exactly like the pattern was. So I'm going to squeeze on the pink glitter jelly, and then I'm going to put on another dim gray, which is already in my pattern, holding on to the needle nose so it keeps my beads tight, which is making room for these extra beads to make it nice and tight. Okay, and then I'm going to put on my lobster claw around the beads, and then I'm going to grab it and I'm going to close it. After you get it threaded, the thread started, you can pull it back and hold it here, and then continue closing that clasp. You want to make sure the clasp is all the way screwed closed. It's tight, so I'm going to let go, and then I'm just going to squeeze that gray completely over the top of that clasp. Then what I do is I pull it away from the focal a little bit, and then there you got your wristlet, and it's nice and tight. So if you guys have any questions about wristlets, or we have the wristlet bundles, go ahead and let me know, but I'm hoping this tutorial helped. Let me know if you want to see others or specific tutorials that maybe you're struggling with, and I will try to do my best to continue to help show you guys how to use the beads. If you want any of the beads, they are in the shop. You can search for Seasons of Happiness. Much love. Have an amazing day. We'll see you the next time.